If you've been thinking of starting an Amazon business in 2025, you've probably heard of a bunch of different business models all being hyped up, but which one actually works? Is it dropshipping, private label, wholesale? Now, which one is actually gonna get you to your goal and which one is gonna waste all of your time and money? Over the last few years, we sold over $35 million on Amazon, and I've seen all these business models in action. So I'm gonna give you the good, the bad, the ugly, so you can make the right decision. So in this video, I'm gonna rank every Amazon business model from worst to best, based on real results, real scalability, so you can make the best decision which business to dive into in 2025 without any of the guesswork and any of the mistakes. Let's get into it. So to start off, I'm gonna start with one of the most popular business models in the e-commerce space. Yes, dropshipping. Now, if you don't know what dropshipping is, it's really, honestly, one of the sexiest business models, because what dropshipping is you list a product on any platform, and what happens is you don't have to pay for that inventory up front. You get paid when it sells. Now, this is a business model that blew up in 2019 and 2020. And this is one that I really got exposed to back then. I remember I was sitting in our office and this guy came through, him and his friend, and he was pitching us and getting involved in his Amazon dropshipping business. It looked really good. At that point, he was doing over $10 million per year on a bunch of different accounts. But as we got deep into the conversation, what I started to realize is his business was continuously at risk. You see, the thing about dropshipping is while it can be extremely lucrative because you don't have to pay for any inventory up front, if you're selling on Amazon, there are no marketing and ad costs, it is against Amazon terms of service to do this because Amazon prioritizes itself about customer service. Products get into the customer fast, no mistakes, no issues. They really want to build that rapport where we're all about speed and efficiency. Now, the thing about dropshipping is Amazon is not holding your products, so you can't use Amazon Prime. It's coming from a distributor or a dropshipper, and they're sending it directly to the customer. So innately, especially for most of them that are based in China, it's gonna take extremely long to get to the customer. Now, over 180 million people, over half the people in the United States, pay for Amazon Prime. Why? Because they want their products quicker and faster. So when you talk about drop shipping for something that might not get to them for 1, 2, 3 weeks, and then it runs the risk of being broken, wrong color, wrong size, Amazon absolutely hates this, and so do the customers. Now, you can drop ship, not on Amazon. If you're gonna go into the dropship model, where you wanna look is a place like TikTok, where you can do something called organic dropshipping, where you're releasing content and people are going to TikTok shop to buy it. Or you can do it on Shopify, where you're running ads on Facebook or TikTok to drive traffic to your Shopify store. Both of these work. But when you're talking about selling on Amazon, you have to follow the rules, because when Amazon shuts down your account, guess what? They hold your money, and if you have inventory there, which you wouldn't in dropshipping, but if you do, they hold your inventory as well until you can prove that your account should be reopened. This puts you at a tremendous amount of risk. It's honestly something that most people getting into businesses don't want to deal with. So this is why dropshipping on Amazon, completely, I can't lie about it, this is ranked F. This is the worst business model to jump in on Amazon, just because the risk does not worth the reward. Yeah, you might generate a few sales here and there, but at the end of the day, when you're risking your money and your inventory getting locked up, it's just not worth, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. So I will have to rank this one completely an F. Please don't do it on Amazon. You will regret it, and then you're gonna DM me and we're both gonna cry together for a little bit, but yeah, let's just not get into it. All right, next up, we have one that I honestly like for young kids. This is one that really works if you're pretty much a teenager in college looking to flip some stuff and make some money. This is retail arbitrage. Now, retail arbitrage is, for those of you who don't know, it's really simple. You're going to retail stores either online or in person. You're scanning these products to see if they sell for more on Amazon, and you're using literally an automated calculator that can let you know how much money you should be making from this product. Honestly, it's a great model for beginners because you can jump in the game with very little capital, $50, $100, $200, something really small. And you can jump in and start scanning products online or in stores to see if they sell for more on Amazon, and boom, you start making some sales. Now, sounds great, right? Here's the issue with retail arbitrage, and I'll speak a little more about this as we get into some of the other business models. The thing about it is Amazon's biggest fear right now is unauthorized products that are fake. I was talking to a brand about 2 months ago now, and this brand is doing over $28 million on Amazon. I'm not gonna name them for their protection, but $28 million alone on Amazon. And what they were telling me was the reason they wanted to get away from all these unauthorized sellers was this is a supplement brand. What people were doing was literally faking the entire product. I'm talking about buying the bottle, empty, faking their logo, and filling up the capsules with fake white powder. Can you imagine how pissed as a consumer you would be if you got a fake supplement from Amazon? A, you would probably never shop on Amazon again. You wouldn't trust them. B, you wouldn't trust the brand. And C, you can go ahead and sue Amazon for giving you some fake stuff. So Amazon has cracked down on the sale of unauthorized products. And this started back in 2024 and it's only getting tougher and tougher. So the thing about retail arbitrage is while it still works to some capacity right now, it is being phased out just by the way we see things moving on Amazon. It's still a great model right now for you to come and make some quick cash. I still think people should do it. But for most people, I think you are putting yourself at risk and you're going against the grain of what's happening. The other thing about it and why I'm honestly going to rank this one pretty low, which I don't know if you're surprised or not, but I'm honestly going to rank this one pretty low, is for most people that I speak to, when they talk about getting to $10, $20, $50,000 profit months, can you imagine yourself having to go buy and sell products from a store to get to that number? Well, here's the thing. Let's say you're making $10 in profit per sale. Just to get to $10,000 in profit, you need to ship out 1,000 products. And if you're doing arbitrage, you're probably gonna be prepping these products in your house, or if you have a warehouse, your garage, living room, whatever. 1,000 products, you have given yourself a whole nother job as a warehouse worker. It is not high leverage, and for this reason, I rank this one a D. When you talk about scaling a business, we always think from the point of leverage. How do we get the highest output for the least amount of work? And this is something that is simply just not scalable. Even if you could sell 1,000 or 2,000 of a product, does any retail store have that in stock? Probably not. Does a website? Probably not. So you're gonna have to be going to a bunch of different places to kind of piece this order together. On top of the fact that when you have to go prep these products, you can't even scale your business without scaling yourself and having more bodies do this work for you. Retail arbitrage is something that's being phased out for most people who are looking to scale their business substantially. It's something that I think you can avoid. I'm going with some of the models we'll be talking about soon. This is why I give retail arbitrage, it's a level over dropshipping because it's not against terms of service right now, but it is a D because it is not freaking scalable whatsoever. Okay, let's go into one of the newer business models that honestly I love right now, which is the Amazon Influencer Program. If you're not familiar with what this is those people that make videos for certain brands, certain products, and they post them, and what it gives the consumer is a real life experience of what it looks like to have this product. Let's just say that you are, you want to be an influencer in Amazon Influencer Program for a TV. You'll get this TV. You will then put it up. You'll show how the color is, how the sound is, how easy it was to set up, all of these cool things. And what it does is shows the consumer like, oh snap, this is something that I can actually see in my house. Flat enough, it can go on the wall, it can do all these things, right? And it gives the consumer a great experience prior to buying the product, which at the end of the day drives sales for these companies. The Amazon Influencer Program is something that is continuously on the rise, but the downside of it is you always have to create content. You have to be pretty good at content. Now, why I like this model a lot is because there's no upfront cost whatsoever. You're literally creating videos, so you're trading time for dollars still. But honestly, you can make a good amount of money doing this model. The thing about it is when you get into this program, right, and you're making these videos, your money is inconsistent. Unless you have brand deals where they're paying you a set amount for every video you make, you never know how much money you're gonna make. You could have a video that takes off and you're crushing it and you're making a ton of money, or you got a video that flops and you put in a lot of time and you're not making a lot of money. So it's a great model, but it leads to a lot of inconsistency in money. I know a guy who is doing something similar to this model and the next one I'll be talking about on TikTok. 1 month, he was able to make $120,000 in profit from videos. That is great. But guess what happened a month after that? He made $10,000, which is still good money, but that's a big variance. Now imagine you make $10,000 1 month, next month you're at $2,000 or $1,000. It doesn't give a lot of people the confidence to go all in on something like this, and it doesn't build a lot of longevity unless you have strong brand connections where you have a lot of brands you're working with and they're giving you retainers to continuously make these videos. That being said, I still love this model. It's something that I've dabbled with. It's something I have a lot of fun doing, and something that can make you a good amount of money. So I'm gonna give this bad boy an A, and I really like it, honestly. The influencer program is cool, it's fun, but it couldn't be my mainstream of income. That brings me to the other one, Amazon affiliate marketing. Now, it has a very similar kind of approach to the AIP, Amazon Influencer Program that we just spoke about, but the main difference is you're driving traffic off platform, so off Amazon, to sales on Amazon. This can be you making videos on TikTok. This can be you making videos on Instagram. You making videos like literally wherever. And you're just driving people through the affiliate program to go and click a link and you get a certain commission from it. I like this not as much, because what this requires is you need to have a pretty good following unless you're doing this on TikTok. If you're on Instagram, if you don't have a lot of followers, people are not just clicking your link, right? If you're on any other platform other than TikTok, it really is about what your following is. The cool thing about TikTok is it does reward you. Regardless of how many followers you have, you'll still get views. So if you're doing this model on TikTok, you can make a ton of money as well. But similar to the AIP influencer program, it's one of those things where you have to be good at content creation and be okay with your money going up and down every single month. You can have a month that you're crushing it and a month that you freaking suck, your videos suck, your energy's off, and boom, you are broke for the month. So once again, just doesn't leave a lot of confidence in terms of income. I would still give this model an A, because I'm really, what we see right now in the e-commerce space, and I'll speak more about this when we speak about a very, very popular model in a little bit, is we are moving more towards the way of China, where people in China, how they usually buy is from content, which is what TikTok is doing right now. B, they buy from live shopping, which is what a platform like Whatnot is doing right now, and TikTok as well. So as we move more and more in that way, that's how marketing is moving for these brands. And it's a skill set that as you develop, you get better and better at it, hopefully. And eventually you can lock in some serious brand direct deals where you're working directly with brands, creating content for them. So if you're a fan of content, I think this model is great, and I'm gonna give it an A, just like the influencer program, man. I think it's really on the way up. Okay, this brings me to a model that I never really understood, but some people like them, and this is going to be Amazon KDP. This is print on demand. So what you're doing is creating ebooks or PDFs or something and selling them on Amazon. Now, it works, all right? You create a PDF on something that you're knowledgeable about, you create a book or something that you're knowledgeable about, and you really just go on and put them up. Right? The KDP program, the print-on-demand program. So the thing about the print-on-demand program and the KDP program is they're very similar. Right? You're creating something and you're placing it up for you to generate sale. There's no upfront inventory costs other than you creating an ebook, which can be done on anything like Canva, ChatGPT, whatever, or print on demand. You're literally putting up t-shirts, and every time someone gets an order, they're printing that. So good program, works very well. But once again, it's something that is not very high volume on Amazon. Like, how many of us are going to get some random ebook or PDF from Amazon? Not really. That's not really what we go to Amazon for most of the time. Number two, how many of us are going to get t-shirts printed with like some random stuff on it? Not very much. It just doesn't happen that often. That's not what the marketplace's strong suit is right now. So while this model is great, you can make a decent amount of money. It's just something that I put so far down the totem pole because of how low traffic it is. And if you want to do something like this where you're doing print on demand or creating your own ebook, I would really suggest using something like Instagram or Meta for marketing, because yes, you're going to have an ad cost, but on the other side of it, you're going to get a lot more traffic, because that's what those platforms are really built for, right? As long as you have a good funnel, you can make a lot of money. Amazon, not so much. So these two models, I got to give them a D, right? Just not that scalable, not going to make that much money. Good for a very, 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 very side hustle, making a few, maybe $1,000, $2,000 a month, but to get somebody that's making 20, 30, 40K a month, I haven't seen it. When I see it, I'm gonna let you know. I'll make another video retracting all of that, but I haven't seen it. All right, let's get on to a model that I started with. And you might be surprised by how I rate this one, but this is Amazon Wholesale. Now, Amazon Wholesale, if you're not familiar with it, is buying and selling products that already have a brand name that people already know, love, and trust on Amazon. I love this model because similar to Arbitrage, we are reselling products. So these products already have traction, they already have brand trust, and people already go into Amazon to look for them. So we do not need to do any marketing or ad costs. Now, here's the thing about this model, and this is the model that really got us to do a large chunk of our 35 million in sale. But there's a divide that's been happening since early 2024. There's something called unauthorized wholesale, where you're buying and selling in wholesale quantities from a mom and pop wholesaler, retailer, supplier, or something like that. And there's something called authorized wholesale. We'll talk about that in a second. Unauthorized wholesale is, let's just say you have a local distributor, right? That services all your local grocery stores or all your local beauty shops, right? And even national ones, right? But really you're going to focus on local ones. Thing about that is this model completely rocks because you get to play the role of the middleman. Similar to Sam Walton when he created Walmart, Sam Walton had a very simple business model. He's like, I'm going to buy and sell products that people are already looking for. I'm not doing the ads, the branding, the marketing, none of that. All I'm going to do is buy it at a wholesale price, cheap, and sell it back at a retail price where everyone else is buying from. Now, why don't I like this model as much in 2025? Similar to arbitrage, Amazon is moving more and more away from unauthorized resellers, people that run a risk for them selling fake products on their listing. So they're making it tougher and tougher for people to actually jump into the game using this business model. If you want to go to unauthorized wholesalers, you can still make a ton of money right now, but we're always about planning a few months, a few years in advance. And what we can see from the trajectory of Amazon is they want you to have full brand authority to resell these products. Now, for that simple reason, I have to give unauthorized wholesale, even though I did it for so long, a C. You can make a ton of money. It's high leverage because all you're doing is reaching out to suppliers and getting deals with them, getting lists of all their products, pricing, and able to resell that bad boy on Amazon and make money without taking unnecessary risk if you can do your product research correctly. But once again, because you don't have all your supply chain documents, you run the risk of A, your account getting shut down, B, you're not getting approved to sell these products. So I don't love it anymore. I don't love it the same way I used to. And this is why we made a shift over to what I'm gonna talk about next, which is authorized wholesale / brand direct deals. This is working directly with brands or their authorized wholesalers to have full authority to resell their products on Amazon. I love this model. And I think this is where the gold rush on Amazon is taking place right freaking now. You see, the thing about it is right now, so many people are dipping and dabbling in arbitrage or unauthorized wholesale that they're not really catching the wind of where things are going and they continuously bump their head and get frustrated. Right now, there's a moat where there are all these brands that need help on Amazon. And what your job is to go in there, secure their deals, and then go there and provide them with value in the form of either cash flow if it's a smaller brand or some help on their Amazon listings and marketing, stuff like that. Once you can secure these deals, you can have contracts that last years to come and secure your income. And this is so high leverage because, like, I'll use an example of one of the brands we carry. I can't say the name, but it is a food brand and it blows up. It sells all year round, but it really blows up around this time of year. If you're watching this, it's around Q4. So it's around August, September. So it spikes up, but we've had this brand deal since 2020. And since then, it consistently gives us about $120K in profit every single year without us doing much work. And our contracts are set up in a way where as long as we hit a certain revenue goal, they have to renew that contract. So this is gonna go on in perpetuity until we don't hit a goal. So that's consistent $120K a year profit from very little work. It's just creating a deal. I love this model. And my main thing is that if you can secure these brand deals now before everyone catches wind, you can secure a ton of recurring income. I love both models, unauthorized and authorized brand direct deals, but brand direct deals are just taking over right now. Authorized wholesalers are taking over right now. And it is so high leverage because let's say you reach out to 100 brands. You lock in anywhere from 5 to 10 of those profitably. Well, brands have multiple products. So a brand might have 5 products for you to sell, 10 products for you to sell, 10 brands like that, 50 products for you to sell, consistent, reliable income. Your job is simple. Stay in stock with your winners and slowly start negotiating better and better pricing so your money continuously goes up. I have to give this model chef's kiss. This model is an S tier because it reduces the risk of having to run your own brand or do anything like that, but it secures you in consistent cash flow, just playing that role of Sam Walton from Walmart, reselling products, meeting the demand of the marketplace with the supply that is needed to surface that $1.65 billion per day that Amazon is doing. Look, if you're getting into Amazon, please, and you don't have a high risk tolerance, take your ass over to brand direct deals, authorized wholesale. This is all we focus on in our program right now. We're creating AI tools to streamline this. We're creating workflows that just help make this easier for our students because this is the way the marketplace is growing. And this is why a lot of sellers are not doing this. That's why you see the guys in the retail arbitrage getting super frustrated and losing a ton of money. But we're not gonna tell them unless they're watching this. So have to give this one an S. Working with authorized, wholesale, and brand direct deals. That leads me to my last two. Second to last is gonna be Amazon B2B sales, business to business sales. This is when a business is gonna need like large quantities of something. Let's say that you're selling, what do I have? I have some tissues, right? Let's say it's a large office and they need a lot of tissue boxes. You can create contracts with them on Amazon where you're selling them like maybe 2,000 of these at a set price. Every month they're coming back and rebuying these. Can go the same way with, I don't even know what else, I have mice, right? Businesses probably gonna use Logitech mice or something like that. You create deals with them where they continuously come back and you're able to sell these. I love this because this is not only the consistent income, but also it is high volume. So if you're only making $10 a sale, but you're selling $1,000, $2,000, well, guess what, buddy? You made $1,000 to $2,000. I mean, $10,000 to $20,000 in profit off one deal. Amazon B2B sales crush. It's high volume, so it's high profit, and it's absolutely freaking amazing. Now, the thing about this is that you need to actually go and secure these deals. So it's something that, while I love, there aren't that many businesses on Amazon that buy in bulk. So you're dealing with a smaller sector of the marketplace where you're not gonna have the same volume as if you just went regular, authorized, brand direct, and sell to regular consumers at a retail price. So you have the downside of that where there's less people to actually reach out to. The other downside is because you have to cut into a lot of these bulk discounts is you have to have some pretty strong negotiating skills to get the pricing that you want. I have to give this model an A because while it is like, honestly, it was between an A and an S, right? Because it's really good, but because the marketplace is so small, it's not something that is just infinitely scalable. You have to go in and get these brand direct deals. You have to actually service what they need, and then you need to go find the products that they're looking for. But B2B sales is something that is not going anywhere. I'm sure Amazon business will continue to grow as more businesses start leveraging them for their bulk orders. But a lot of the times the business might say, why can't I just go directly to the brand and get these deals myself instead of dealing with you? It's the only downside I can see about that. Versus when you're selling to consumers, there's no ability for Joe Schmo to go to this big brand and say, hey, I just want to get a deal for you. I'm going to purchase this every month. It's not going to happen. But they can have that deal with you on Amazon. So Amazon B2B sales, A tier. All right, and this brings us to, oh man. I'm gonna try not to rant on this one, but this is Amazon private label, going out and launching your own brand. Now, personally, I don't think this is the route that new sellers should jump into. Why? Because when you go and launch your own brand, you gotta have the stomach, the guts, to go through what I call the 5 fingers of death. Number 1, you have to get samples of your product, which costs money, right? You gotta get samples. Let's say you're making a supplement, you gotta make sure the formula's right, everything is good. That's a sample. Number 2, you gotta get a website created. Unless you're good at websites, it costs money. Number 3, you gotta get a logo created. You can use AI, but to really get it to how you want, and it's a brand, you wanna make sure it's A1, that costs money. Number 4, you gotta get the full product run. Everything is good to go. I got my samples, website, logo. I think my full product run costs money. Number 5, you have to pay for marketing. On Amazon, that is called PPC, pay per click. So anytime you're on Amazon, type in a keyword. What comes up is you're gonna see at the top row these little words sponsored in gray under the top four listings. And sometimes you're gonna see maybe like top 10 listings under it. What that means is they are in an auction system on Amazon bidding on that keyword. And like any auction, there's a baseline, but there's no cap on it. Certain keywords can run you $1, $5, $10, $20 a click, depending on how popular that keyword is, because it's an auction system. And here's how it works. When someone clicks on your listing, when you win that auction, regardless if they buy it or not, guess what happens? You get charged. Sorry, don't worry about my blue light glasses. All right, you get charged. So you better hope that people start buying it. And you better have the stomach to say, okay, I'm gonna shell out cash to get my product some ratings, some reviews, and people to buy it so that I can dial back down on my marketing costs. Now, the thing about that on Amazon, and why I'm gonna rank this one probably a little lower than you probably would have thought, is owning a brand is great. You have equity in it. You can sell it. They say you can sell it. Some people can sell it if it's having the right profit margin and everything. But the thing about it is Amazon is a fest. Think about marketing on Amazon. There's only a few ways you can go about it. You can run ads. You can have a better hero picture, which is the first picture you see. You can have more photos, which is the other picture you see. You can optimize the keyword, like the title, the description. You can do all these things. But Amazon is not really a great marketing system. It doesn't allow for a lot of creativity. It's almost like Google. So you get into this rat race where it is about who can spend a lot of time, who's up on trends, and who can spend the highest dollar on marketing for you to win. What you'll see is what I talked about before. A lot of people are going off platform to do their marketing. We're following China. You'll see places like TikTok, Shopify, where people go and get eyeballs on their listing, and then after people have that initial purchase, they go for their reorders on Amazon. So all the smart brands right now, what they're doing is they're leveraging places like TikTok to get creators to create videos for them. And then once those creators create videos, people are going buying it on TikTok. But guess what? When they want their reorder, they're not going back to TikTok. They're taking their ass over to Amazon because they want quicker shipping times. So private label on Amazon is something that I think is pretty outdated. Even one of my, I wouldn't say a mentor, but one of the courses I bought, it's a guy who sold his Amazon business for over $30 million, right? That's a lot of money, maybe about 6 years ago, so 6 or 7 years ago. And even he said, as he got into trying to launch a new brand on Amazon a few years ago, it was so hard and it's only getting harder. And that's him with a ton of experience. And what he did was say, screw Amazon for the marketing. I'm going to TikTok and Shopify and they'll drive sales to Amazon. So when you want to launch your own private label brand, you got to have the stomach for these 5 things of death. You have to have the cash, the patience, and you got to be okay with figuring out all of the other marketing channels outside of Amazon. Now, it works really, really well when you have those set up because statistically speaking, I think the stat right now is for every dollar spent on a platform like TikTok, 50 cents leaks over to Amazon because of the repeat purchases. So you get to kind of lift this up while still lifting this up. If you ever see an Amazon listing that's not optimized, meaning they only have like one picture, it's pretty ugly, but they're still generating a few 6 figures a month in sales, that's because their marketing channels outside of Amazon are so dialed in. They have Shopify going, they have TikTok going, maybe they're in retail stores, but Amazon isn't that main mechanism for driving traffic. It is simply where people go to buy. So for that reason alone, I think private label on Amazon is it's not as good nearly as it was a few years ago. You can still make a good amount of money, but you have to think a little bit outside of the box in terms of the e-commerce space. So I have to give private label a freaking C. It is just not what it used to be. Now, to wrap this all up, this is what I think about every single business model on Amazon after spending the past 5.5 years really diving into this. I still think right now, brand direct, authorized distributors is a gold mine. It's one of the easiest ways to jump into the game without taking unnecessary risk because you know what a product's gonna sell at, you know what price you're getting it at, and you have these brand direct kind of agreements that lock you in so you run no risk of getting your account shut down or running into any headache on Amazon. And you can secure the longevity of your income stream. This is why time and time again, this is my favorite business model and something we've leaned in so heavily starting in 2024 and something we'll continue to really soak up before the rest of the market catches up to it. So if that's something you're looking to get into, make sure you jump in quick before it kind of gets soaked up. And it's Q4 right now. This is money season, right? What are you doing? This is where 43% of all sales happen on Amazon. Go get your bag. So those are the best and worst Amazon business models in 2025. So now you know which ones to focus on and which ones to scurry the other way and how to actually grow your business on Amazon. Look, if you want to skip all of the trial and error and set up a business that we've used to scale to over $1 million per month, hit the link below and book a free call with our team and we'll dive in to see how we can help you move the needle forward. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll be posting more videos with actual tactical ways to lock in these brand direct deals, how to actually build a profitable business that actually lasts, not just in 2025, but all the years moving forward. I hope this was helpful. Peace.